Hello, my name is Emma, and this is going to be my response for module response 1. So as we know, in this assignment, we were asked to include our family's income into the income calculator. And so the first question in this assignment asks us to think about, is my family's income, after it was all put in, is it higher or lower than what we had expected? So for me personally, I really felt like my family's income was lower, honestly, than I would have expected. Just because my parents, so in our household income, it's just my parents that are included in that number. Me and my siblings are college students, and we work odd jobs and things like that to support ourselves, but we definitely do not support to the household income. And our parents are fortunate enough to be able to support us with school, buying all of the groceries. We don't contribute to the rent and things like that. So to be quite honest, it was lower than I expected. I was shocked that with what they had, like, they were able to support all of us. That was a little shocking to me. And then I asked us to look at the percentile. So is my family's personal household income, is that percentile higher or lower than I expected? And keep in mind that this percentile that I was looking at was for the US. So honestly, I felt like our percentile was higher than I expected because my parents, they're very privileged in the fact that they could support us in many ways, but we've never owned new vehicles. We have never taken a bunch of vacations and things like that, and we were still in the top 29% of this nation. So that was a little shocking to me because we've definitely struggled as a family before to get by in certain things, and still that means that about 71% of the US population is struggling more than we have been. And that was pretty shocking to me. So then the next portion of this assignment asks us to look at the percentile of a family that's at the US poverty line. And so this is like a family of 4, and that income, that yearly income, is about $25,000. So it asks us to think about what this percentile of this family, is this higher or lower than we would have expected? And to me, I honestly felt like this was higher than what was expected, just because when this income was put into the calculator, it showed that this family was at the bottom 13%, which it's expected that this family at the poverty line would be at a lower percentage, but I couldn't imagine, the fact that this family is at the bottom 13% means that there is 12% of the US population, which is a great deal of people who are even less privileged and less, have less of the means than this family does. And I couldn't imagine trying to get by as a family of 4 with this either way. So to me, that was just really shocking. I really would have expected this family's percentile to be lower. Obviously, we know that poverty is real and that it is around us, and that wealth inequality and income inequality in the US is a real problem, but to see it broken down into such striking numbers, it's a little shocking. So my conclusion about the income level of the country and its relation to the overall income distribution of the nation was that, so what I did to kind of conclude this is, so earlier I had stated that I'm in the top 29%, my household family is, in the US. Our income is the top 29% for the US. But when I use that number and I added to make it for the world, I'm in the top 5% of the world. And then I don't know if everyone's had a chance to read the first 2 chapters of the book yet for this course, but there was a lot of discussion about the Democratic Republic of Congo. And so I just wanted to get kind of specific and see, kind of like in that sub-Saharan Africa, where my family's income would be there. And when that was included, my family would be in the top 0.1% in the DR of Congo. So I think overall as a nation, this is pretty apparent that we are much more financially privileged than the rest of the world. So like for instance, my family in the US is in the healthy upper middle class, but when looked on that wider spectrum of the world, when looking at it in that way, my family would be grouped in with the top 5% of the world, which is like unfathomable wealth. Those are millionaires and the billionaires. The top 5% of the world includes the Jeff Bezos and the Elon Musks, and my family doesn't drive even new cars in the US. So I think that in conclusion, I would say that it's very apparent to me that our nation overall is just very financially privileged. Thank you.